12. I am a product of the Ambedkar movement. I came in contact with the movement when I was a child of hardly 7 or 8 years of age. Our hut was right in front of the chadi, and both shared a courtyard. Activists like my father Pandharanath Kakade, Nana Ahiwali, Laxman Kakade were all educated. They used to bring 2 newspapers, Daily Kesri and Daily Sakai, to the chadi and read them aloud to the people sitting in the courtyard. Baba published a newspaper called Bahishkrit 1, in which his speeches were reproduced. These were also read out aloud. Men from both the Mahar lanes gathered to listen to them. There would be complete silence. The readers explained the issues to the people. The entire community was beginning to be aware. I grew up in that charged atmosphere. Ambedkar taught us that character is the foundation of this edifice called the human society. When compassion and morality follow character, society achieves its real strength. He wanted to transform society in the light of this philosophy. My young mind absorbed a few drops from that ocean of knowledge. I have already stated how a teacher called Budkumkar had provided hostel facilities to the young boys of our community. Gradually, the number of students in this hostel increased to 30 to 35 students. They came from Mangalore Path as well as from the surrounding villages. My brother, the eldest student among them, became their leader. He used to compose radical songs, many of which used to be sung in the cultural programs held during the Ganeshotsav. I too participated in them. Messages would be circulated about the programs being organized. Once, Baba sent a telegram asking us to exert our rights as the sons of the soil by forcibly seeking entry into temples and hotels. The hostel students discussed this all through the night. They made a plan for the campaign. They planned as to who would enter which temple. They chose the Vithal temple in the Shimpi lane, which was next to the Brahmin lane. The Brahmins came to know of this plan. With fire in their blood, the young activists from the Harijan boarding set off to forcibly enter the Vithal temple. They were shouting slogans of Ambedkar's victory. Some young girls like me, of about 10 to 12 years of age, ran by their side. In the temple, the Brahmins had surrounded the idol of Vithal to protect it from the polluting touch of the Mahars. Many wielded laudis. They wanted to stop the Mahar boys from entering the temple at any cost. The fiery young soldiers of Ambedkar were equally adamant. The tallest among them was a boy called Anand Ahiwali, who was the son of a wrestler. He dashed through the ring of the Brahmins and managed to touch the idol. This caused a furor. There was great commotion everywhere. The Brahmins scattered and started chasing the Mahar boys with laudis. But the boys were too smart for them. They somehow managed to escape and reached the chadi in Mangalore Path. We too dashed into the house of a fish vendor woman whom we knew. We used to buy fish from her. Her house was exactly in front of the temple. The Brahmin priests in the temple announced that the Mahars had polluted the temple. They also declared that God Vithal's face had become contorted, and that tears were flowing from goddess Rukmaya's eyes. Soon the news of the Mahars having polluted the divine couple Vithal and Rukmaya spread all over Fultan. In fact, it reached all the 84 villages in the state of Fultan. 2 priests organized the chanting of scriptures and purificatory rituals to wash away the pollution with milk and gamutra. Finally, after 1.5 months of incessant chanting, ceaseless worship, and of course, substantial grants from the king, the Brahmin priests managed to cleanse the gods of the pollution, restored the original expression on Lord Vithal's face, and stemmed the flow of tears from Rukmaya's eyes. Baba's word has become law for me since then. Social work became an alternative source of sustenance. A new fire began to burn in my heart. Meanwhile, the movement marched ahead. A new wind had started to blow all over the country. A new sun was rising on the horizon. I still remember the celebration of Ambedkar's birth anniversary in 1938. I was just 9 years old then. The activists in Mangalore Path such as Nana Member, Srirang Appa, Govind Thombra, Black Dadu, Pandharanath Kakade, Laxman Master, Laxman Dalal, Dadram Kakade, Baburayo Ahiwali and Papa Ahiwali got together to celebrate Baba's birth anniversary. They declared that they would not celebrate Gudi Padva, the traditional Hindu New Year, but instead they resolved to celebrate April 14th as the day of their new year. They decided that on this day they would do everything that high caste people did on the occasion of Gudi Padva. They would raise goodies, buy new clothes, clean their houses, decorate their courtyards with rangoli, cook puran pali, and invite people from all the 84 villages for a festive lunch. The day symbolized the celebration of the spirit of Bhim. Thus, the people of Fultan started the tradition of celebrating Ambedkar Jayanti. All houses in Mangalore Path were cleaned. Goodies were raised in front of each house. People bought new clothes. Women got busy. Children got up early, bathed and gathered in front of the chadi, parading their new clothes, singing and dancing. The activists erected a huge pandal in front of the chadi. I was so excited that I kept running back and forth, from the chadi to our hut. I could not sleep at all. The men had worked through the night, making preparations. Nobody had even a moment's rest. Each one bathed and returned to the pandal in snow-white dhoti and kameej, and a blue turban with some shiny powder sprinkled on it. Some men even wore coats. The boys from the boarding, 30 to 35 in number, were immaculately dressed in white. My brother was also among them. They put Dr. Ambedkar's photograph on a chair, draped a garland around it and sang their radical songs. The atmosphere was simply electric. This was certainly the first moment in my life when I experienced pure, unadulterated happiness. I felt as though I was bursting with life. Everybody was deliriously happy. Dadu our Aya was an extremely cheerful, thin-loving man who had acquired the nickname of doctor because he pretended to check the pulse of young children and made them cry. His complexion was virtually coal-black. On this occasion, he was dressed in khaki half-shirt and khaki shorts, with white canvas shoes and white socks. He also wore a hat on his head, and a tie around his neck like an Englishman. And like all other soldiers of Beam, he had also shaved off his mustache. He was in his element that day. He caught hold of some child to check his pulse and made him cry. He praised the new clothes of another, and then he teased yet another, saying that his clothes were not new at all and that his parents had cheated him. From 10:00 euro trademark clock in the morning, people from the neighboring villages started arriving. The visiting villagers were also in brand new clothes. They had come in bullock carts that were nicely painted and decorated with bells. They camped in the chadi. The activists had made arrangements for their meals. Every house was to invite 5 people as guests and feed them. Around 3:00 euro trademark clock in the afternoon, the boys started decorating the bullock cart in which Babasahiba euro trademark S photograph would be placed and taken in procession. They tied the tender trunks of plantain around the cart. They had invited a band as well, the Chan Tara band. The band began to play and the procession started. Slogans such as A Euro Babasaheb Zindabad Euro trademark, A Euro schedule cast party Zindabad Euro trademark, A Euro down with capitalism Euro trademark, A Euro long live Ambedkar Euro trademark reverberated through the streets. Nobody minded the burning sun. The sweat running down the bodies felt like the first drops of rain. The spirit of rebellion was in the air. We wanted to trample the high caste villagers under our feet. Finally, the procession reached the chadi around 5 in the evening. Women came forward with the ceremonial plate of tiny, lighted lamps and performed an arti. Guests sat down to rest, volunteers brought drinking water from each house. A chulha was ignited outside the chadi to make tea. Preparations began for the public meeting in the evening. Several prestigious people from the village came for the meeting, including Dr. Budkumkar and Sachin Godbole, the king's secretary. Dada knew that I could sing a little. My brother had prepared a jalsa for this program that tried to educate people on the futility of worship and urged them to give up stupid old customs. The actors, Banudas Kakade, Anna Mama, Shankar Ahiwali and Vithal Ahiwali, were about to begin the jalsa when suddenly my Aya got a brainwave. He called for me loudly, A Euro hey you, Panharinatha Euro trademark S brat, start singing the Athuba song. We will start the program after your song. A Euro trademark catching hold of my hand, he just dragged me onto the stage in front of all the people. I felt terribly confused. My throat went dry and my heart started to race. But I gathered all the courage in my heart and started to sing. People clapped, there was a thunderous applause. Dadu placed me on his shoulders and started dancing. Then the program began. This was how we celebrated the first birth anniversary of Dr. Ambedkar. Since then, Baba has been enshrined in our hearts. The program set me thinking. What was the purpose of Baba's life? For whom was Baba born? I realized that the purpose of his life was to empower the oppressed and to restore to them their human rights. Once I realized this, I understood that even my life was meant for the service of the society. I realized I had to be one with my people. We, the daughters of the activists in the movement, were enrolled in school number 5 for girls. It was basically a school for Brahmin girls, with a few girls from other high castes. There were some 10 or 12 Mahar girls spread over in various classes. So each class had only a sprinkling of the polluting Mahars. All the girls in the class had benches to sit except us Mahar girls. We had to sit on the floor in one corner of the classroom like diseased puppies. The school was located in Shankar Market, in front of the Ram temple. During the short recess, Brahmin girls used to visit the temple. Dressed in nice long skirts and blouses, with flowers in their hair and their fair skins glowing, to us they looked very beautiful, flitting around like colorful butterflies. We were like fiery gadflies burning for vengeance. Behind Rama Euro trademark S temple, there was a big tree, with a round platform built around it. We used to park ourselves on this platform, each lost in her own thoughts. My friend Begum would say, "A Euro, how come these Brahmin and Maratha girls are able to go and see the Goda Euro trademark S idol? We should see him at least once." Then another friend, Gulbakawali, would vehemently object, "A Euro, no. Never. How can you pollute God? If we do, the God will set monsters after us. Monsters are ferocious creatures, you know. Huge and terrible. They will simply devour us. Do you know that? If the God Doesna Euro trademark T set monsters after us, he is sure to send a cobra with 5 hoods. Or even huge drones. He will simply do anything to punish us. His wrath is terrible. Let me tell you, my brother is a boggart of the spirit Dodgy Pottle that often possesses him. You don't a Euro trademark T know how that spirit hates things that pollute. Even women are polluting for this spirit God. And he often warns people not to challenge God's A Euro trademark. Then yet another girl, Olka, would retort, "A Euro, stop it. Theta Euro trademark S rubbish. Had these gods been real, do you think our Ambedkar would have challenged them?" A Euro trademark Olka was the daughter of Shankar Kakade, who had thrown away all his gods. Another girl, Bagad, would assert, "A Euro, come what may, we must see what this god Ram looks like. A Euro trademark, I supported her enthusiastically. A Euro, yes, lead a Euro trademark S face whatever happens. Lead a Euro trademark S pollute Ram at least once. Even, at the cost of death. A Euro trademark Sadu exclaimed, "A Euro, yes, let us do it. Baby is right, A Euro trademark." 2 years passed in such talk. Finally, we decided to carry out our plan on a particular day. We systematically planned our strategy to enter the Ram temple. We divided ourselves into 2 groups of 6 girls each. The group of elder girls was to enter the temple, and the other group was to keep vigil outside. At 9:00 euro trademark clock, the recess bell rang. This was our time of action. We all ran towards the Ram temple. We reached our usual place under the umber tree in the courtyard and sat there. We decided to enter the temple once the Brahmin girls had returned to school. Our minds were thrilled that finally we were going to see Ram, but at the same time, we were also scared that the god would punish us for our transgression. Slowly, the high caste girls arrived, put the black book a mark between their eyebrows, went into the temple, came out and returned to the school, laughing merrily. Now was the time for us to make our move. We stealthily walked to the front of the temple. We senior girls warned our juniors, "A be vigilant. If a Brahmin couple comes, sound a warning by calling out A or Brahma euro. We will run out. A trademark." Having said this, we valiantly entered the temple to pollute Ram. Our eyes constantly flitting back and forth, our hearts beating against our ribs, hands tightly held together, we crossed the first hall. The second hall was dark and unfamiliar, like a cave inside a rock. There was no electricity in those days. Groping around in the dark, we stumbled forward. Our hearts thundering and mouths dry, we forgot even to breathe. Finally, we reached the end of the hall. We huddled together, wondering how far away we were from the god. Then we looked up, glancing at both sides. Suddenly we saw white eyes, like large wood apples, and huge bodies towering above us. Scared to the innermost core of our beings, we began to yell, all 6 in one voice. Our legs buckled and we fell at the feet of those demons. The huge white eyes, giant noses with big holes, hands as big as the legs of an elephant holding colossal clubs, jumbo belly euro, the 6 of us would have easily fitted there like cockroaches in a corner. These were the gods. Guards. We lay screaming at their feet. Meanwhile, our guards outside took to their heels. Howling loudly for dear life, they waited for us at a distance. Then they thought that Ram must have sent the 5-hooded cobra after us because we had polluted him. Or he must have set demons on us. They gave up all hope of our return. In the meanwhile, we kept screaming at the top of our voice. The priest in the neighboring Radhakrishna temple heard us, and got quite perplexed. He had never heard such a racket before. He came into the sanctum sanctorum to find out who was screaming and why. We told him, we are Mahar girls and the god has sent demons after us because we have polluted him. A trademark. On hearing this, the priest threw us out and abused us, but we felt as if the Brahmin was a god who had come to save us. How we ran to Shankar market. Our juniors were waiting for us there, worried to death about what had happened to us. We threw ourselves into their arms and holding each other tightly, began to sob. Finally, the tears stopped. Why did you scream like that? A trademark, they asked. It was only because of the Brahmin that we were saved. A trademark, we told them. Otherwise the 2 monsters would have devoured us. A trademark. Immediately, Gulbakawali ticked us off. I warned you, didn't a trademark ti? Never challenged the gods. A trademark. Begum supported her. Yes, you did. But this baby is mad. She wanted to see the god for herself. Are you satisfied now, baby? You have seen what gods can do, haven to you. I replied, yes, I will never ever think of that god again in my life. Nor will I ever climb the steps of a temple again. I can very well do without gods, thank you very much. Trademark Sada said, we went to the temple for the buka. That we never got. And on top of that those monsters were going to eat us. Trademark. I became angry. Forget all theta the buka, the gods and everything else. We don't trademark want that god anymore. No haldi, no kumkum and none of that buka. Let him keep all those things for himself. We trademark have nothing to do with them. Trademark. Bagot exclaimed, and don't trademark talk about this at home. Our mothers will beat us to a pulp because we polluted god. Trademark. Then I said, come on, why bother about the haldi and kumkum? Remember those Christian women who come to teach us every Sunday? They never wear any kumkum and haldi. Are they widows? No, their husbands are alive. I will die but never again will I think about this horrid god. I will stay away from him forever. I swear. Otherwise, I will change my name. I want a trademark be called baby anymore. That was my first active participation in Baba's movement. This was followed by many other such incidents. Rani Lakshmibai had established the first women trademark S club, Mahila Mundal, in Fulton. She was very young then. It was only Brahmin women who occupied all the positions in this mundal. The Rani Sahiba decided to allow Mahar women into this mundal. She called Sri Rang Appa, Nana member and my father for a meeting. After the meeting, all these male activists enrolled women from our locality as members in this mundal. Invitations for all the meetings conducted by the Rani Sahib would be sent to our women in Mangal Warpath. Women leaders like the Kubai Kakade, Mathabai Moore, Fathabai Kakade and Vithabai Kakade used to take women from all the houses to these meetings. All these leaders were impressive young women, sturdy and well-built, with deep resonant voices. They were excellent speakers. They would wear white saris, 9 yards long, with Dr. Ambedkar trademark S photograph pinned in front. They were revolutionary women, indeed. Since my AAI had never ever crossed the threshold of our house, I would go in her place to the meetings. I remember a very interesting episode. This must have been my second meeting. The meeting was organized in the dining hall. All the Brahmin and Maratha women had occupied the chairs. They would not allow the Mahar women to sit on the chairs. Helpless, our women stood on one side. At the same time, the Rani Sahib started to move towards the stage, accompanied by her other followers Godbol, Velmakar and Budkamkar. Our Thakubai rushed forward. She shook the Rani by her shoulder and told her, your women are not allowing our women to sit on the chairs. Our Ambedkar has told us to demand our rights. I am going to forcefully remove your women from the chairs and seat my women there. A trademark. The Rani Sahib was taken aback for a moment. But she immediately arranged chairs in the front for all of us. Attending meetings was a new activity for our women. By now they had become more aware because of Babasaheb Ambedkar. With such meetings their knowledge began to increase. They began to take firm steps ahead. I used to poke my nose into everything that was happening. I was married at the age of 13. My in-laws were also from Fulton, so I was closely involved in the politics there. Olka got married too. However, she stayed in Fulton at her Parensa Euro trademark house because of some problems with her in-laws. My uncle built a room in front of the chadi, and we set up a shop there. Baba would exhort us in public meetings, we should learn to do business. The high caste in the village will not buy milk from us. In fact, they will not buy anything from us. Undeterred, we should practice business in our own locality. We should not allow the village to earn at our expense. A trademark. Therefore, my husband and I started this grocery store. It started doing good business and earning money for us, and we felt more and more enthused. We became determined to work harder. I used to get up at 3 in the morning. After I finished the cooking and other household chores, I would work in the shop till 10 Euro trademark clock in the night. At least once a month, the leaders would visit our locality. They would come to meet us first, as our shop was in front of the chadi. We organized their tea and meals and also made arrangements for the public meetings. Forgetting our dinner, we used to keep the shop open till the meeting got over around 2 or 3 Euro trademark clock in the morning. We also had to see the guests off. At the time of elections, we canvassed for our party candidates. We also participated wholeheartedly in the demonstrations. We were never out of Ambedkar's movement. I had devoted myself totally to the movement. As long as Baba lived, the community at Fulton remained united. He was our sole protector. Without him, the world was nothing, a big zero. Nobody in the community was big or small. All were children of Bamai. 3. There was no tug of war to occupy a high position. Even in municipal elections, nobody would volunteer their candidature. The whole community would propose the name of a candidate, and the word of the Panch committee would be final. Nobody would dare to cross the beam reka for set by them. Inspired by Ambedkar Euro trademark's thoughts, I sent my children to school. My eldest son, Sham, has done M.Sc. in agriculture and has an LLM. He has become a regional manager in the Bank of India. My second son, Umakant, has done his BA and is a clerk in the Bank of India. His wife, Manda, is a teacher. Our third son, Chandan, is an officer in the government dairy. Vandana, his wife, is also a teacher. My daughter, Kanta, is a block development officer at Baramti. And my daughter Mangal's husband is a supervisor in the ordnance factory in Chur Road, Pune. Our third daughter, Purna, is married to a rich farmer at Sonori near Sasvad. My fourth daughter, Kundan, is in Nashik. Her husband, Kiran, is a doctor at the government press in Delhi. In his public meetings, Baba used to tell us, educate your children. They, in turn, should spend 1% of their salary in improving the lot of poor children. Only then will their education benefit the community, and the generation next to theirs will be educated. Once they are educated, they can organize themselves and find out various ways of directing the struggle. And I am sure my sisters and mothers will carry out this task with an iron resolve. Euro trademark. Baba's words showed me the way. I decided to begin my struggle through my writing. I followed Baba Euro trademark's advice verbatim, to the best of my ability. When Shashikant Thankar was secretary in the Maharashtra government, he granted me permission to start an ashram-shala for orphans from the backward castes. Today, I am the president of Mahatma Phule Nayan Vikas Prasarak Sanstha, and I serve the community in this capacity. 200 children study in this school. I ask my children to donate money whenever the school is under financial strain. We have classes up to the 7th standard. Children are happy to learn in this school. The secretary Bapu Jagtap is a hard-working person, and has been a strong source of support. He calls me Mashi. Even Shashikant Thankar calls me Mashi. He has given me a great opportunity to serve the community by giving me permission to start this school. The vice president of the school, Ramesh Adav, has also been very supportive. All of these people have been a great help to me in my old age as well as in my social work. Shil, Pradnya and Karuna have been the founding principles of my life. What else does this humble servant of Beam want when she has these 3 jewels in her possession? When one has this wealth, what does the ordinary world matter? 1 Bahishkrit Bharat was the name of this newspaper. 2 Fulton at that time was a small kingdom under the Nimbakar family. 3 A railing the entity, a person or a god, that one worships. A Euro trademark is a tradition in Marathi. The god Vithal is also called Vithai. For here baby Kamble creates a new word, similar to Lakshman Rekha Euro, a line you cannot cross. An interview with baby Kamble.